Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Eileen, and this is Medicine Walk. And for those of you listening on Blog Talk Radio, this is Healing House Radio. So, hi everyone, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day, evening, whatever time it is when you're watching. And I just want to thank you for joining me. It's been, we're coming up on 2 years that I've been doing videos, and it's been an interesting journey. And it all started with the idea of trying something new. So that's what we're going to talk about, is when is it a time when we can try something new, when we can go into uncharted waters. Now, it doesn't have to be something that is, expensive or, just, really a big deal or take a lot of planning. You can try something different by just going a different route to work. Or maybe you go to your favorite restaurant and you try something on the menu that you've never tried. Or maybe you listen to music that you're not used to listening to. So the idea behind it is that by experiencing something new every once in a while, by bringing in something that kind of shakes things up, one, it helps take you out of a rut, especially if you're feeling kind of stuck. There's nothing that helps feeling like you're stuck more than doing something different. Maybe it's taking a day off during the middle of the week and going to the beach and sitting on the shore. Or maybe it's going to a play that you've never been to before, or a concert, or a symphony. The whole thing is that when we allow ourselves to experience something for the first time, what it does is it brings adventure into our life. It brings a sense of wonder. We don't exactly know what's going to happen. Now, you may try something new, and you don't like it. There's no guarantee that you will. And in fact, you may decide there's a very good reason why you never tried that. But it may also lead you to something new that you do enjoy, something that you do like, something that you do appreciate. And it's an exciting thing, because a lot of times we don't even realize when life is getting to a place where, we just kind of wake up and do the exact same thing each day, and we don't really think about it anymore. We're just moving out of habit. It's sort of like you drive home and you get to your driveway and you realize you don't even remember the drive that you took. You sort of go on autopilot. And, while that can be something that is not necessarily a bad thing, what it does is it means that you were not present to your life. You were not present to the moment. And it's important for us to be able to be present at the moment and not to just kind of coast through things. And yeah, sometimes when things are going really hard and, really difficult, and you constantly have to be aware and thinking, well, that would be a really good time to, enjoy something being easy, enjoy a little bit of coasting. But when you decide that you want to live a conscious life, those coasting times are few and far between, because the point is that you want to be aware. You want to be in that moment. You want to be in a state of choice as much as possible. And when you're just kind of coasting through, you're not in a place of choice. You're not in a place of, I am, the captain of my destiny. It's more like you're a passenger in a car. So it's your choice. You can choose to be a passenger. You can choose to just coast through and manage things as well as you can. Or you can, every once in a while, claim your choice and decide to do something different. Now, keeping in mind, you want to make sure that if you're doing something different, one, it's legal, two, it's safe for you. Now, I mean, there's times when we do risky things. I myself rolled out of a perfectly functioning aircraft at 10,000 feet once. But, it was a tandem jump. It was, I was strapped to a perfectly nice man who knew exactly what he was doing. So, I mean, in everything, getting out of your house in the morning there's a certain risk to it. And even staying in your house, there's risk all the time. There's always a chance that something could happen. But when you kind of temper that, I mean, bring it down to like the risk when you're going on a roller coaster. There's that sense of, oh my gosh, that something could happen, even though the chances of something happening are tremendously small. You still feel that adrenaline rush. And, a little bit of an adrenaline rush is a good thing. A little bit of an adrenaline rush allows us to, kind of feel our aliveness. Now, you can get an adrenaline rush without doing anything dangerous. If you go to a concert of, say your favorite music, especially if it's lively and, and intense and drum beats and, really a lot of bass, like, the old rock and roll concerts, or, it could be a reggae concert, anything with like really high energy. Now, for some people, classical music, a symphony will do that. But the idea is that you can be in that environment and you feel that rush happening and you feel that, communal experience where, you're there with a whole bunch of people and they're all screaming and yelling, or you go to a sporting event and everybody's cheering for their team and everybody is screaming and yelling and shouting, and you're a part of the, you're part of the emotion. And that's cool. And that's a wonderful thing. So the idea is that, you can get that little adrenaline surge and you can do it in a perfectly safe way, in a perfectly safe environment. But, you get your heart pumping. You get your juices flowing. And sometimes it's amazing how creative we can get at moments like that. When we get excited and when we're really in a moment where we're very present to what's going on. And, you could do it in more subtle ways. Let's say you go to a restaurant that, with the type of food that you've never had before. Now, keep in mind allergies and all of that stuff. If you're prone to them, you want to check on that first. But, let's say you go to you've never tried Moroccan food. And, you and a couple of friends, who feel adventurous, you go and, to say, it's like, hey, what's in this, what's in that, I'll try it. So the idea is that you can try a lot of things. Maybe you've never had a professional massage before. So, you go to a place where, you can go and maybe go to a day spa or something. Or maybe you've never gone hiking or whatever it is. If it's something that you've never done and there's no reason why you shouldn't, then enjoy it. Knock yourself out. Embrace those things. Because, like I said, it's amazing how creative we can get when, we're in that space of something exciting happening. And if it's safe and it's exciting and it's something that gives you that, sort of a rush, well, why the heck not? And it's a lot of fun when you can get friends together and you can try together, it's like maybe you've never been whale watching. And, you go out on the sea. Now, you may go out on a boat whale watching and realize that you have a tendency to get seasick. Well, that might be something you might not want to do very often, if again. But there's an amazing thing about seeing a whale out in the wild. So what is it that you've been thinking of that you've never done, that in the back of your mind you thought, you know what, that might be fun, or I might get something out of that? You know, maybe you've never been to an art gallery, and you just sit there and walk around with the pieces of art and think about it and look at it and experience it because you may realize you love it. Or maybe that walk through an art gallery inspires you to take up sculpting or painting. You know, maybe you see it, or maybe you see photographs and you think, wow, you know, I like to take photographs. So you pull out your camera or your cell phone or whatever, and just start snapping pictures and start, sharing them. Because see, that's the other great thing about trying something new. Then you can share it with others. Then you can include other people in the experience. And who knows, maybe then they want to go and try something new and something different that you can go and support them in. We all need to add a little adventure into our lives. We all need to add a little bit of uncertainty. Because otherwise it's, you fall into that day in, day out thing. And that's okay, but it's important to revitalize our spirit in some way. It's important to embrace what it is that that makes us alive. Maybe you've never ridden a horse. Go to a stable where they rent horses, or go with a friend and feel what it feels like to ride a horse, or whatever it is. I'm sure that there's something that you keep saying, well, I'm going to do someday. I remember when my sister, she passed of breast cancer when she was 34, and her children were 6 and 10 at the time. She was 28 when she was diagnosed. And she thought about what gift did the cancer give her. And she said the gift it gave her was it took away someday. She said someday she would take her children to Disneyland. She realized that someday had to be today. And so she took them on a trip to Disneyland. And, she always said that someday she would pick up the kids, from school, and they'd rollerblade over to the park where she would have a picnic ready. And so she did that. She said someday she would take rumba lessons. So she did. And there was actually quite a bit that she got done before she ended up passing. So don't make it be a situation where you have to claim someday. You can do that any time. You can say, I'm ready for someday today. I'm ready to do that thing that I kept putting off. Now, if it is a big thing, maybe you always wanted to go to Europe, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to make that happen. So you pack up stuff, and you plan it out, and you figure out how much money you need, and you make all the arrangements. And then you go, and you have a great time, and then you come back, and it's like, well, that's done. Now what else is on, that list of things? A lot of people call it the bucket list. What is it that you want to do before you leave this world? But you don't have to be imminently leaving the world to consider that. There's a song, Live Like You Were Dying. And I think the main part of that is that we need to appreciate, we need to stop saying that one day I'll do this, or one day I'll make that happen in my life. One day I'll go out and look for that special person in my life. Or one day I'm going to go out and, and make that dream of the perfect job happen, or start that business that I've always thought about starting. Someday is today. And if you don't think of someday being, okay, well, why not today? Why not right now? Why can't I at least start it? Then someday will always be, this distant thing, and you're not going to be able to find it because it's always going to be days away and days away and days away. Don't wait for someday. Make it happen today. Make your choices today. Make what you decide to do in your life today. Because honestly, it's not about, how safe we can be. And yes, a lot of people want to be safe, and being safe is a very good thing. But when we spend so much time being safe that we don't try, that we don't reach out, that we don't engage with life, we don't engage with the possibilities that are out there, well, then it's nothing but sitting around and doing time. And, if that, see, that's, I'm out on my porch, and Sam is like wanting to go and roam off, and I don't want him to do that. So maybe he's trying to seize his day. I'm making a break for it. But the important thing is that you need to be able to just realize how important life is. You need to be able to say, there were things that I wanted to do, and doggone it, I did a lot of them. I did most of them. Maybe you won't be able to get to everything on the list, but you can get to a lot. You can, it can just be little things. Maybe you always wanted to try to, I don't know, bake a cake. It could be that simple. Maybe you always wanted to bake a cake, and you haven't had the chance, you haven't had the time, you haven't had the opportunity. So go bake a cake. The worst thing you're going to do is not make a very good one, but you can always try. You can always, give it your best shot. And when you're trying things, maybe the first time it's not so, doesn't work out so well, but you just give it time, you give it a moment, you give it an opportunity to, for you to maybe get a little better at it. Maybe you try Moroccan food and it's like, well, I don't know about that. And I'm like, well, maybe you try it again. Maybe it's something that, you need to develop a taste for. Or maybe it's like, nope, Moroccan food's not it, move on to the next country. And by opening up your mind and your possibilities to what it is that, you can embrace, what it is that you can do, it's amazing how much things open up, how opportunities, how you think of different things. It's like, wow, I went and hung out at the beach. I took a sanity day off work. Sam, stop it. Stop. I took a sanity day at work, and next thing you know, I saw some people surfing. And you know what? I think I'm going to try surfing. And that's what happens when Sam bumps into the camera. So, maybe that moment leads to another moment. Maybe that possibility leads to another possibility. You don't know until you try. And, I don't care what Yoda said. There is such a thing as try, because frankly, as far as I'm concerned, anybody who cannot detect Jedi 3 feet away from them, maybe you don't want their advice on everything. So, the idea that, of course there's try. Of course there's making an attempt. Of course there's the idea that, you can figure almost anything out if you just, put your mind to it and say, well, I'm going to give this a good shot. Maybe you want to learn to line dance. Sure, why not? Give it a try. You don't have to be perfect at it. You don't have to, be great at something the first time in order to decide that it's okay, to learn how to do something. And yeah, that's fun. It's kind of fun having a learning curve. You start off and it's like, well, that didn't work out quite so well. But it worked out well enough that you're willing to try again. And then you can see the progress from how when you start off and then as you go through it, and how great it can be when you have, it's like, wow, yeah, look at what I did. I did something very cool, and I learned how to do it better, and I got better and better, and now I'm not so bad. Maybe it's playing a musical instrument, maybe it's speaking a language. Whatever it is that is that little thing that you've been having reasons to not do, just try. And then maybe, if it's something that doesn't quite work out, give it another try, and then if it doesn't, really resonate with you at that point, it's like, oh, you know what? I realize that I really don't want to ride horses. Okay. You don't have to. But at least you gave it a shot. At least you can say, well, I gave it a try. And trying is important because that's how we learn. That's how we experience. Everything that you love, you tried for the first time once. And maybe it was something that you totally loved and kept loving. Or maybe it was something that, you kind of had to work your way up to, but it was important. Maybe you tried running and the first time you tripped and stubbed your toe and it didn't end up well. But you really wanted to run, so as soon as you felt better, you went out and tried it again. And then you did a little bit better, and you did a little bit better. New things take a little bit of time to get good at. But it's worth it because that's part of the fun, is being able to learn how to do something, keep learning, keep learning, keep learning, practice, 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 and then you get good at it. But, don't be discouraged just because you try something for the first time and it doesn't end up the way you want it to. It's okay. That's life. That's what we do. That's how we relate to the world around us. And yeah, maybe it's going to be something that that you have to work at, and maybe it's going to be something that you have to work at for a while. But don't get caught up in, well, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't what I envisioned, because most of the time it's not like we envisioned the first time. But it gets better, or it gets more fun, or you get more comfortable with it, or you get less embarrassed about it. And then we move forward and we do it because we enjoy it, because, it helps us to manage our way in this world. Remember, something can be absolutely wonderful and not be perfect. It can be perfect for you. So don't get stuck on, well, if I try it and it doesn't work out, I'm going to be upset. Well, not unless you choose to. You don't have to be upset just because something you tried didn't work. It just means that either it's not for you, or that you have the opportunity to try again. So try. Do something new. Shake it up, even if it's just trying a different route to work. Even if it's stopping in at that restaurant that you've passed every day at lunch, and you've always wondered, what the food was like. Even if it's, choosing a concert that you wouldn't normally go to, and maybe finding you enjoy it. Whatever it is, go out, experience, shake things up, have an adventure. Adventures don't have to be big, they can be little. And yet, they can still give us so much, because that may inspire you to do something else. So knock yourselves out. And if you do try something new, please comment and let me know what you tried. You can reach me through the Facebook group, Medicine Walk with Dr. Eileen, and you can also follow me on Twitter. So go out there, do something, and please let us know, because if you let me know, or you can comment in this video, and if you let me know, then what I'll do is I will share it. If you're okay with it, I will share it. Knock yourselves out and enjoy and grasp life and make mistakes and do it over and just enjoy yourself. Seize the moment. Carpe diem. Seize the day. And I hope you have a wonderful one. So, thank you for joining me. And if you would like to support the channel and the good stuff that we're trying to share and to build the community, you can like, you can subscribe, you can comment, and I do answer the comments, and I do respond to the comments, and you can also share this video with someone else. So if you would like to support the channel, the link is listed in the description for the Patreon account. Anyway, thank you again for joining me. And as always, I wish you balance, and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you. Bye.